this is the worst year. Forget season and the record and the 100-year football and, a 1-8 record at home. This is the worst year. And this is where, I don't know if Fliegelman's going to agree with me and get a kick out of this. This is the year the Giants transformed into the Jets. Like, because now they are a laughingstock. And now they are the butt of everybody's joke. And now we have to watch Jayden Daniels go into Detroit against the best team in the NFC all year, a team that dominates in that building. And we got to watch Jayden Daniels as a rookie go in there and be the most mature, confident, steady, reliable, trustworthy, smart football player on the field? And go in there and beat the Detroit Lions? And now have an all-NFC East NFC Championship game? And then, of course, today, I don't know when Saquon Barkley's ever going to become an Eagle and not a former Giant. I'm hoping one day, at least for him, that eventually that happens, where he's no longer a former Giant and he's actually just a Philadelphia Eagle. But obviously, the big game, 200-plus yards, the 2 long breakaway touchdown runs, and everything that went on with that game. But to watch it, and I tweeted this out, because this is what it feels like to be a Giant fan, at least for me right now. Because what we're going to see here is the dichotomy of what they were and what they could have been. And the Giants are right in that middle area of just absolute nowheresville. Because they weren't good enough to take Saquon Barkley, who is obviously an incredible player. They weren't good enough all these years to make Saquon valuable to them the way he's valuable to the Philadelphia Eagles. For years, they could not get good enough. They couldn't fix their line, whatever the case may be. They couldn't be. It was a mistake drafting him. If you listen to me at all, if you're a fan, I've been talking about this forever. You don't draft a running back too, certainly, and you certainly don't do it when your roster sucks and you have an aging quarterback and you don't have an answer at the quarterback position moving forward. You do not draft a running back. That doesn't change how great he is and how frustrating it is to know that if he's on a good team, the impact he can have. So the New York Giants, for 6 years, could not get good enough to have that great player be great for them. And they're not good enough for that, and then they're not bad enough to be able to draft Jayden Daniels, who they desperately wanted, who they were trying to trade up to get. So, and a handful of Tommy Cutlet wins in the middle of the season last year hurt them and cost them the ability to get this quarterback. And now we got to watch it in our division. And please, I know you could say, well, if they're not good enough for Saquon Barkley, what makes you think they would have been good enough for Jayden Daniels? The quarterback position is so completely different. And please, stop. I hear you guys call up. Stop talking about what kind of team the Giants are and what's their identity. If you don't have a quarterback, it doesn't matter what your identity is. Get a quarterback, then work on your identity. What was the Washington Commanders' identity last year? 4 wins and the second pick in the draft? What's their identity now? Oh, if Saquon wasn't good in the Giants, neither would Jayden Daniels. The roster's not good enough. The offensive line's not good enough. I'm sorry, that's right. It's the powerhouse offensive line and the great roster of the Washington Commanders that suddenly catapulted them from within 1 year of being the second pick in the draft to the NFC Championship game. You're right. It's that tremendous offensive line that did it. It's the rest of that great roster. You got to watch the running back who you weren't good enough to make great, who the owner and the clip of him and the stupid Hard Knocks at the start of the year, and everything else that comes along with Saquon Barkley and everybody taking their shots. And now you've got to see this burgeoning young superstar quarterback who on his rookie season. He's not just in the NFC Championship game. Now, I understand Goff played terribly, and I understand they made terrible mistakes and turned the ball over 5 times, and a lot of it is how the Lions handled themselves. But he went in on the road to the number 1 seed and went for it on fourth down after fourth down, made big play after big play, and took them down in their house. And we know how good the Eagles are, and now we got to watch Jayden Daniels in the division become the next great superstar in this game. This is an absolute disaster for the New York Giants. And they're going to have to figure out how to get on board and start to compete with this team. And it starts with getting a quarterback. And we'll talk about the draft. Oh, you shouldn't reach up, and you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Hey, listen, if you happen to draft a quarterback in the second round, you'll figure it out. Draft the best player available. The New York Giants need their answer at the quarterback position. They're not. There's the 49ers of a few years ago, and you saw how that goes, and they haven't won a Super Bowl. The Eagles have done a great job drafting. The Eagles have done a great job putting their team together. The Eagles have built a complete roster, even with a banged-up quarterback in Jalen Hurts and really no passing game to speak of. They were able to make it through an NFC to get to the NFC Championship game, and they've been a great team. Good luck building an entire roster to compete with the Philadelphia Eagles and the rest of this division now. The New York Giants have to find their answer to Jayden Daniels, not their answer to the roster of the Philadelphia Eagles. But it doesn't matter. It's just been, what a miserable, stinking year. From all the losing to winning the one game they shouldn't have, to being the laughingstock all year about that stupid Hard Knock show that they should never freaking done, to watching Saquon Barkley be in the MVP conversation and watching a quarterback they wanted and told us on that show that they wanted to trade up for and missed out because of games won by the great Tommy Cutlets. You got to watch him already dominate this league, go into the belly of the beast, number one seed on the road in a building where they dominate, kick the tar out of them, and now he's getting ready to play the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship game. It is a nightmare for the New York Giants and John Mara.